We're now at the second meaning of acknowledge from the previous page. So the second meaning of acknowledge, verb. If someone's achievements, status, or qualities are acknowledged, they're known about and recognized by a lot of people or by a particular group of people. He's also acknowledged as an excellent goalkeeper. Some of the clergy refused to acknowledge the new king's legitimacy. The third meaning, verb. If you acknowledge a message or letter, you write to the person who sent it in order to say that you have received it. The army sent me a postcard acknowledging my request. The fourth meaning, verb. If you acknowledge someone, for example by moving your head or smiling, you show that you have seen and recognized them. He saw her but refused to even acknowledge her. The next entry, acknowledgement, ACKNOWLEDGEMENT, acknowledgement. Also acknowledgement, without an E. The first meaning, singular noun, an acknowledgement is a statement or action which recognizes that something exists or is true. The president's resignation appears to be an acknowledgement that he has lost all hope of keeping the country together. The president's resignation appears to be an acknowledgement. Well, I'm struggling with pronouncing to be an acknowledgement that he has lost all hope of keeping the country together. The second meaning, plural noun. The acknowledgements in a book are the section in which the author thanks all the people who have helped them or her. The third meaning, uncountable noun. A gesture of acknowledgement, such as a smile, shows someone that you have seen and recognized them. Falling smiled in acknowledgement and gave a bow. The fourth meaning, countable noun. An acknowledgement is a letter or message that you receive from someone, telling you that something you have sent to them has arrived. I have received neither an acknowledgement nor a reply. The next entry, acme, acme, singular noun. The acme of something is its highest point of achievement or excellence, formal. His work is considered the acme of cinematic art. The acme, the highest standard, the highest achievement possible for something, the acme of something. The next entry, acne, acne, is uncountable noun. If someone has acne, they have a skin condition which causes a lot of spots on their face and neck. The next entry, acolyte, 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 countable noun. An acolyte is a follower or assistant of an important person, formal. To his acolytes, he is known simply as the boss. The next entry, acorn, 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 countable noun. An acorn is a pale oval nut that is the fruit of an oak tree. The next meaning, acoustic, acoustic, acoustic. The first meaning, adjective, an acoustic guitar or other instrument is one whose sound is produced without any electrical equipment. Acoustically, adverb, acoustically based music. The second meaning, countable noun. If you refer to the acoustics or the acoustic of a space, you are referring to the structural features which determine how well you can hear music or speech in it. Acoustically, adverb, the church is acoustically perfect. Third meaning, uncountable noun. Acoustics is the scientific study of sound. The fourth meaning, adjective. Acoustic means relating to sound or hearing, compared aural, acoustic signals. The next entry, acquaint, acquaint, acquaint. Acquaint, acquainting, acquainted. The first meaning, if you acquaint someone with something, you tell them about it so that they know it. If you acquaint yourself with something, you learn about it. Formal. Efforts to acquaint the public with their rights under the new law. I want to acquaint myself with the strengths and weaknesses. The next entry, acquaintance, acquaintance, acquaintances. The first meaning, countable noun. An acquaintance is someone who you have met and know slightly but not well. The proprietor was an old acquaintance of his. Let's check his pronunciation. P-R-I-E-T-O-R. Proprietor. Proprietor of a hotel, shop, or newspaper or other business is the person who owns it. The owner. Proprietor, like entrepreneur, I guess. Proprietor. The proprietor was an old acquaintance of his. The second meaning, variable noun. If you have an acquaintance with someone, you have met them and you know them. He had met her through his acquaintance with Anne. The third meaning, uncountable noun. Your acquaintance with a subject is your knowledge or experience of it. Formal. You had a to or no acquaintance with philosophy or history. The fourth meaning, phrase. When you make someone's acquaintance, you meet them for the first time and get to know them a little. Formal. I first made this acquaintance in the early 1960s. The next entry, acquainted, acquainted, acquainted. The first meaning, adjective. If you are acquainted with something, you know about it because you have learned it or experienced it. Formal. He was well acquainted with the literature of France, Germany, and Holland. The next meaning, if you are acquainted with someone, you have met them and you know them. You can also say that two people are acquainted. Formal. No one personally acquainted with a couple was permitted to talk to the press. No one personally acquainted with a couple. Oh, so if you're not acquainted with a couple, you are permitted to talk to the press. You must have absolutely no relationship with a couple in order to talk to the press. It's true, we are acquainted, but no more than that. The third meaning, adjective. If you get or become acquainted with someone that you do not know, you talk to each other or do something together so that you get to know each other. You can also say that two people get or become acquainted. The meetings were a way to get acquainted with each other. The next entry, acquiesce, acquiesce, acquiesce. Let's confirm if I'm pronouncing it right. acquiesce, acquiesce, acquiesce,
Acquiesce.
or acquiesce, acquiesce or acquiesce.
Acquiesce.
Acquiesce for sure. Acquiesce. Verb. If you acquiesce in something, you agree to do what someone wants or to accept what they do. Formal. Steve seemed to acquiesce in the decision. When her mother suggested that she stay, Alice willingly acquiesced it. The next entry, acquiescence, uncountable noun, acquiescence, acquiescence, uncountable noun. Acquiescence is agreement to do what someone wants or acceptance of what they do, even though you do not agree with it. Formal. Deirdre smiled her acquiescence. Deirdre smiled her acquiescence. acquiescence. The next entry, acquiescent, acquiescent, acquiescent. Adjective, someone who is acquiescent is ready to agree to do what someone wants or to accept what they do. Formal, perhaps you're too acquiescent. The next entry, acquire, acquire. Acquires, acquiring, acquired, acquire. The first meaning, verb. If you acquire something, you buy or obtain it for yourself, or someone gives it to you. Formal. Yesterday reviewed he had acquired a 2.98% stake in the company. I recently acquired some wood from a holly tree. The second meaning, verb. If you acquire something such as skill or a habit, you learn it or to develop it through your daily life or experience. I've never acquired a taste for spicy food. Acquired. I've never acquired a taste for spicy food. The third meaning, verb. If someone or something acquires a certain reputation, they start to have that reputation. He has acquired a reputation as this country's premier solo violinist. The fourth meaning, phrase. If you describe something as an acquired taste, you mean that a lot of people do not like it when they first experience it, but often start to like it more when they get to know it better. Boiled beans are very much an acquired taste. Synonyms of acquire. Verb, get. I'm getting a bike for my birthday. Receive. They will receive their awards at the ceremony in Stockholm. They will receive their awards at a ceremony in Stockholm. Obtain. Evans was trying to obtain a false passport and other documents. The next entry. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. I never know if that's pronounced as immune or immune. I-M-M-U-N-E. Immune. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Uncountable noun, acquired immune deficiency syndrome is the same as AIDS, AIDS, AIDS. The next entry, acquirer, acquirer, acquirers, countable noun. In business, an acquirer is a company or person who buys another company, business. The next entry, acquisition, acquisitions, acquisitions. The first meaning, variable noun. If a company or business person makes an acquisition, they buy another company or part of a company, business. The acquisition of a profitable paper recycling company. The next meaning, countable noun. If you make an acquisition, you buy or obtain something, often to add to things that you already have. The president's recent acquisition of a helicopter. The third meaning, uncountable noun. The acquisition of a skill or a particular type of knowledge is a process of learning it or developing it. Language acquisition. The next entry, acquisitive, 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 adjective. If you describe a person or an organization as acquisitive, you do not approve of them because you think they are too concerned with getting new possessions. They want more and more. Disapproval. We live in an acquisitive society. So if you're acquisitive, you're very greedy. You always want more, but I think that's natural. Acquisitive. We live in an acquisitive society. The next entry, acquit. acquit, acquit. Acquits, acquitting, acquitted. The first meaning, verb. If someone is acquitted of a crime in a court of law, they are formally declared not to have committed the crime. Mr. Ling was acquitted of disorderly behavior by magistrates. What is magistrate? Magistrate. Magistrate. A magistrate is an official who acts as a judge in law courts, which deal with minor crimes or disputes. So it's a judge. It's a judge. An official who acts as a judge. So he or she is not actually a judge. Magistrate. Where we're at. Disorderly. Mr. Lang was acquitted of disorderly behavior by magistrates. The second meaning, verb. If you acquit yourself well or admirably in a particular situation, other people feel that you have behaved well or admirably. Admirably. Admirable or admirably. If you acquit yourself well or admirably in a particular situation, other people feel that you have behaved well or admirably. Formal. Most officers and men acquitted themselves well throughout the action. Third meaning. See also feature box at legal. This is the end of page 14.